Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be talking about Moonlight, and even though I did see Moonlight back in cinemas when it came out in 2016, I never really reviewed it, and maybe it's just because I couldn't really think of anything to say that hasn't been said already. Maybe it's because I wanted to give it some time to mull over before summarising my thoughts on it, or maybe see it a few more times. Or on a more ordinary note, maybe it's just simply because I wasn't in the swing of film reviewing at the time, as I sort of tend to be a bit on and off with the old consistent film reviewing, unfortunately. Nonetheless, here are my thoughts on Moonlight, and as a disclaimer, this is just what I personally took away from the film. It is a very ambiguous, interpretive film, and none of what I'm about to say is cut and dry, objective and factual. It's just my opinions, and you may completely disagree, and that's perfectly fine, because difference of opinion is a wonderful thing. But Moonlight stars Trevante Rhodes, Ashton Sanders, Alexei Hibbert, Andre Holland, Janelle Monáe, Naomi Harris, and Mahershala Ali, and is directed by Barry Jenkins. The film tells the story of Chiron, played by 3 different actors throughout. It starts off with 10-year-old Chiron, played by Alexei Hibbert, then teenage Chiron, played by Ashton Sanders, and then late 20-year-old Chiron, played by Trevante Rhodes. And this sort of makes up the 3-act structure for the film, if you will. It's about him growing up, trying to find his place in the world, fit in, connect with others, and just be himself in Liberty City, Miami, starting off in the 1980s up until now, where crime, poverty, masculinity, and homophobia tend to rule the streets. My initial reaction whilst watching the film was a consistent level of adoration, but it was as it finished and I went to the bathroom and I thought back on some of the slow, quiet scenes that I had to fight to literally stop myself bursting into tears. And days and weeks later, thinking back on some of the slow, quiet moments and the character reveals, I've still found myself just tearing up big time, even crying. A film that can have that kind of lasting effect on you is one that must be talked about. I've now seen it 3 times and can safely say it's one of my all-time favourite movies. It's not really a movie with big, dramatic, swelling scenes. It's a slice-of-life kind of story that feels so real and raw, yet so vibrant and beautiful in terms of the colour, lighting, music, performances. The dialogue feels so honest and real and natural in terms of how people actually interact, and it's not a film that needs to try and insist upon or wow you with big gimmicks, epic scope and scale, or heavy gravitas. It's a film which slowly burrows under your skin, into your soul, and only burrows ever deeper post-viewing. It's a film which gets you on a purely empathetic level, and watching it is like having one of those really vivid and realistic dreams where when you wake up from it you sort of go, wow, and you instantly just want to go back and see where the dream goes. Anyone who's ever considered themselves introverted or has found it hard fitting in or being yourself, Moonlight should and will get you right there in the feels. You'll find that you're faced with no choice but to be placed right into the shoes of Chiron, feel what he feels, and connect with him on a level few films can ever achieve. As mentioned before, the lighting is spectacularly vibrant. The rich blues, purples, even golds at times are just divine. Even when it isn't literally lit or filtered or tinted using these colours, it genuinely always has a feel of a warm summer's night at the beach under the moonlight. I can't even remember a film which truly has you feeling as though you're physically there, to the point where you can smell the thick, salty, sweaty, but somehow comforting aromas of Liberty City, Miami by the seaside. The way the camera swirls and sways, particularly in the very opening scene and during a disturbing bullying scene, feels so epic, poetic and graceful. The character Juan, played magnificently by Mahershala Ali, is, for a good portion of the film, the only character who seems to offer Chiron kindness and warmth, and someone for Chiron to look up to. He is, however, a drug dealer who is regularly involved in the streets and is ultimately the one selling crack to Chiron's abusive mother, also played brilliantly by Naomi Harris. So in a way, the angelic Juan is partly the root of Chiron's problems. The fact that it is an all-black cast and that Chiron is gay became pretty much irrelevant, to the point that I basically forgot about those elements while watching the film, What really set in and what I really took away from it are universal themes of belonging and being yourself and just the need to connect with others, regardless of race or sexuality. It's a film about boys and boys becoming men without being masculine or macho or blokey, and it's a film about being gay without being effeminate or seeming to push forth a much-needed, contrived agenda. If not clear enough already, Moonlight is a film that I would highly recommend seeing if you haven't already, or if you have seen it and it perhaps wasn't your cup of tea, I'd encourage giving it a second try, and maybe try approaching it less as an epic Best Picture winner that'll no doubt blow you away with scope and scale, but more of a quiet character study that might just burn into your soul if you let it. Some have described Moonlight as simply depressing and sad, but I don't see it that way at all. I see it as a film filled with hope and encouragement that it's okay, as long as you're not hurting yourself or others, to just be yourself. Be yourself and be proud of it.